Morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sammy, United People's TV, Friday the 13th. Means absolutely nothing. I was born on the 13th. Great day. Anybody else who's born on the 13th? Yeah, come on. Anyway, we're here to talk about Southampton. That was a long, old international break. International breaks are always long. Going into one off the back of a 3-0 humiliation to your rivals, it makes those days drag. And I've tried to cover it as best as I possibly can. Tried to bring some decent content. And yeah, it's not always easy. I'll try my best. But tomorrow we've got Southampton, 12:30, early kickoff on the Saturday to kick off the Premier League weekend. I'm going to run through Ten Hag's comments on Ugarte, Højlund, Shaw, Ronaldo, no excuses, momentum, everything from the press conference. I'll run through that. Also going to speak about, briefly, Adrien Rabiot, because I still see some nonsense being just banded about. A little bit of info and detail on Dan Ashworth, on the compensation that we paid Newcastle. Going to enjoy that part of the show. And speak about the recruitment team, Sekou Kone. And as always, you fire in your comments and questions, and I'll try and answer as much as I can. Good morning to you, Carl. How you doing there? Josh, I saw you there. Ant as well. I could see everybody in the comments immediately complaining about the weather. I am wearing winter garms. I've got trousers on. Not that I'd sit butt naked every show, but I'm not really wearing shorts. I've got a winter hoodie on. Now these, like the hoodies that we launched, they might not have been the most appropriate for the summer, but I tell you what, these bad boys are ridiculously warm. If you want one for the winter, I'd encourage you to get one. Techlon, good morning to you. Jonathan Rose, Dean, we've got Robin, Gren and Aaron and Dudley. And on Facebook, we've got Wayne, good morning to you, dude. Pat Martin, we've got Romero, Sergio Romero, don't know. Charles and Nuhu, good morning to all of you. Pedro, don't be bragging, all right? Pretty warm in Florida. You hate it. Hey, it's just not fair. It's just not fair. Now, if we can... I like these funny... I don't know. I like doing these funny polls. It makes me laugh every morning. So, yeah, if you haven't dropped a like on the video, then you're the reason that we lose tomorrow. I'll tell you what, a little bit later in the show, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. You can see one of those posters, the guy, an actual one that I showed you, but I might have two more to show you from underneath the bench. All right? A little bit later. Let's get into the show. And we are all sitting here eagerly anticipating this. I think everybody is. I'm not particularly hopeful that we're going to get a conclusion that I think City deserve. But let's find out. The hearing properly starts. There should be a result, and this is very important in this whole City versus the Premier League case, right, with the 115 charges, which apparently is more than 115. But anyway, City also countersued the Premier League for the associated party transactions. Them basically saying, who cares if we get sponsored by by Etihad Airways and we own half of it? You can't tell us what that's worth, right? That's what the associated party transactions are there to stop and protect. Like Ineos coming and buying the stadium naming rights to United for $4 billion, or a shirt sponsorship worth $200 million a week. They couldn't do that according to these rules. So that's what the conclusion to that is expected to come at the end of this month, and that's important because if City lose that, it gives more power to the Premier League. But I spoke about it this week, last week. You know, when Everton beat the Premier League, when the Premier League tried to make them pay for all the legal costs when they got their points deduction, and they won that one. Leicester beat the Premier League by arguing that they weren't a Premier League team when the rules came in, and they won that one. So, yeah, I'm not too confident. Typically, if you're rich, you get away with what you want to get away with in the legal system because you're rich, and that's what you pay the lawyers for. Moving on to United, though, I have to say, it does really feel like United have been a bit fortunate to not breach PSR, which I don't think should come really as too much of a surprise, given the fact that you've seen the numbers, right? For United to not breach PSR, we had to have that COVID loss claim, which was more than other clubs. But I'll be honest, of course it's more than other clubs. No other club is the size of Manchester United. Therefore, the revenues aren't the size of Manchester United. Therefore, the losses aren't going to be the size of Manchester United. It's scale. So, of course, it's going to be more. But I think United are going to have to get the nearly just under 50 million that was paid to the Rain Group as part of the whole Glazers sale to Ratcliffe and Ineos, going to have to get that written off as an exceptional cost. But yeah, again, I reiterate, I go back to it. That's why I was so pissed off and frustrated when I saw people suggesting that we could spend 300-400 million this summer. It just was obviously not true. You could present that with facts if you just looked at the numbers properly. But yeah, speaking about United, you know how it's really incredible when you think about it, right? We have been largely crap for over a decade now. We've been crap as a football club. Sure, we won the Europa League, we won the League Cup twice, we won the FA Cup, but they're not the trophies that Manchester United will ever be defined by. The Premier League and the Champions League are those. We haven't won either of those in 10 years. We haven't won the Champions League since 2008. Yet despite all of that, Manchester United still, still have got the highest attendance of any European club last season. And on top of that, Manchester United have still got the highest revenue when it comes to the shirt. From the supplier, from Adidas, from the front of shirt sponsor, and from the sleeve sponsor. And it's just, as I said, it's almost incredible, really, that we haven't lost that. And it just goes to show the scale and the size of Manchester United, right? And the scale and size of Manchester United that these two came into. Ashworth and Wilcox. Now, if you get the opportunity, I'll drop the link in the comments, right? This is an article that was released this morning from Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic. And there's a lot of detail in that, a lot of insight into it. I mean, I could technically do a lunchtime video on it, but that's an article that's clearly had a lot of research from Laurie, so I wouldn't want to just lift it all and put it in a video. It gives a lot of detail into exactly what it is Brailsford does and where, what it is that Ashworth does, what it is that Wilcox and Barada do, and what it is that Christopher Vell has done. And I want to go back to having a little conversation here around Ashworth and Wilcox. And I agree with you down there in the comments saying that if United can, and we do it, and the decision is a new stadium and it's over 100 or it's 100,000 plus, United will fill that every week. Like, I don't actually know what the waiting list for a season ticket is now, but it took me 4 years, 5 years. I don't know. There are tens of thousands on the waiting list for a season ticket at United. And again, that's what you remember how annoyed I used to get when people were like, "Oh, in the whole Glazers, the peak of the Glazers protests," and people thought that season ticket holders were a problem because they were going to the stadium. And it's just like, if season ticket holders weren't there and they all handed their season tickets back in anger towards the Glazers, there would be 20,000 tourists that would just snap that up straight away. And they'd be the perfect people for the Glazers because they wouldn't protest. Now, I want to speak about Ashworth and speak about Wilcox now, right? I can see down there that Gaz, thank you very much, dude. You gifted 10 memberships. Woo! Oh, damn it. Why is that not working? I've deleted my elevator song. I was well excited to press that. I can see, oh man, Nuruddin. It is a good morning. Casemiro's coming out because Nuruddin's in town and he's gifted 50, man. Come on. This is a Friday show.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Casemiro, man, just play a blinder this weekend. Surprise everyone. Surprise me. Make me come with an apology, and that's what I want from him. But big up to Casemiro, big up to Nuruddin, and Alex as well. Jeez! Oh, no way. Oh, no way. I tell you what, I'm taking a quick... Before we get into this story and this conversation here, right, I've got to take a pause for the community because JC has just gifted 50 as well, man. All of you are helping me design stuff like this. This is the perfect time for me to show you. You can see one on the wall there. Honestly, I think this is probably the most creative thing I've done so far. A big up to Artie, the designer that we work with. We've got the Garnacho one there, and there's a couple more. All right? Here's the second one, okay? This one, of course, for that chip from Cantona against Sunderland. The stupid light really reflecting on the screen. It's really annoying me. Can't ever get rid of it. Anyway, This is the second one there. That's dedicated to the Cantona one. I love these so much, man. I love these so much. And then on top of that one, you can let me know which one's your favourite in the comments. You've got the Garnacho one. You've got the Cantona one. What about this one? This one here is for the Scholes goal against Barcelona. It's really hard to get. There you go. It's probably about as good as you're going to get it. The Scholes goal against Barcelona. And the detail, I can't really show you. Maybe you can probably zoom in on it here. The detail on these are so ridiculously good. So that's the third one. So we've got Scholes, we've got Cantona, and we've got Garnacho. And these are the three that we're going to be launching with. And this is going to be a series that we continue across the course of the season. So if we get any memorable, really memorable moments, like we had Ahmed last year, we had the Garnacho overhead. If we have anything more than like that, we're going to keep designing those, all right? Oh, my word. It might be cold outside, but it's hot in here because Jace, and Nuruddin as well. Hey, man, you all put smiles on my faces, man. You just gifted another 50 each. I kind of brush over this. I'm getting Gary Neville out. Man. And Pyro, you gifted 5 too. Don't say I didn't miss you. Oh, Tim! Oh! Man, what a start to the show here. I'm 12 minutes in. I haven't even hit the news yet. And a little chat there from Pyro saying, getting ready for Saturday. Also, my punching bag will be waiting me in the garage just in case. Boy. Pedro, we're going to be launching those probably next week. I've been waiting. There's been a long time since they've been working on these for a couple of months in the background, but we're nearly ready. JC, man, that's my pension gone, mate. You're a legend, man. JC and Nuruddin and anybody else who's continued to help this channel grow, you really do put a big smile on my face. And Steve, I can see you down there as well. Let me get into the show now, peeps. You gifted 10 memberships too, all of you, man. Legends. Now, I said this article here has got a lot of information in it, because it does. And this here puts a big old smile on my face, right? The whole Dan Ashworth situation with Newcastle was a little bit ugly, right? It was ugly. And it took a long time. Laurie Whitwell here, reconfirming. Now, of course, this is going to be from the... this is going to be coming from the United side. But this has been said multiple times now. That United actually paid Newcastle £2.5 to £3 million for Ashworth, which is pretty much what they paid to Brighton. And I've just got to sit here and just... It tastes good, doesn't it? It tastes good. It's just... Newcastle tried to play a game with people who were better at negotiating than them. And they got slapped up. They tried to dig their heels in. They tried to say, nah, 20 million. What do you mean 20 million? Where's that come from? Ineos said, nope. 2.5 to 3 mil. I mean, it's not even a slow clap you need to do. It's just... Don't come to a gunfight with a knife. Don't come to a poker table if you don't know how to play poker. That's what Newcastle tried and failed at with Dan Ashworth. It does taste a bit sweet, if I'm honest. But I'll be honest, I wish it could have happened a month earlier. I really wish it could have happened a month earlier. And I honestly don't know what to say anymore. I'll tell you what, Ricky, you just gifted 50 as well. This is for everyone. The OG gong that's been here for a long time. Mate, all of you, I swear to God, get in the Discord, please. I'm determined to make that Discord community like the most inclusive and sort of welcoming community in the world. And I think you all can make it happen. So big up to all of you. Man, there's some yapping dogs outside. No, those little yappy dogs. We had a conversation about yappy dogs. I think somebody DM'd me after saying, Sam, I've got a yappy dog. Hey, look, if you like yappy dogs, that's fine. I don't. I like medium dogs. Yeah, not a slow clap at all. A mic drop. Bloody gong sounds like a mouse. Anyway, right. I want to quickly speak about this from ESPN before we then dive into the actual what crazy first 15 minutes of the show. By the way, that's what makes it special. It's unlike another show because it's a genuine community, man. Rob Dawson from ESPN talking about United's long-term goal is to revamp the entire recruitment structure. And we've already heard earlier, about last week before, that United are probably going to be bringing in a director of recruitment. So somebody to work underneath Dan Ashworth and above Chris Vavell. Chris Vavell is there as the director of global talent. And I've already gone on record to say I think he's going to, once we really establish this multi-club model, I think he's going to go and be in charge of that in the same way that Omar Barada was in charge of the whole of the City Football Group. I think Vavell will be doing that from a recruitment perspective. But United have made more changes. We've got Sam Erith, who's coming as performance director, and fingers crossed that makes some real change. And this here is, that is Sekou Kone. And just a little snippet from the article here, right, on Chris Vavell's involvement. And I like that concept of calling Sekou Kone a bridge signing. So Chris Vavell, it really felt like a Chris Vavell signing. And this is what the suggestion is. Basically, he was on United's radar. They had already done a bit of scouting, but it was him who pushed it forward. And as I've reiterated so many times, the problem at United really has not been data over these last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. The problem at United has been who's been interpreting that data, who's in charge of using that data. And that's where Chris Vavell would have come in and made the Sekou Kone one happen. And as I said, I like the idea of that being called a bridge signing. So that's saying, right, okay, well, we might not have a number 6 right now. Well, we've got Manuel Ugarte, and hopefully he can bring some real quality for the next few years. But in a few years' time, we're going to be needing another one. So if Sekou Kone can come in as an 18-year-old and in 2 years' time has massively developed, then you go, well, you don't have to go out and spend 70, 80 million on a player. You've got one in-house. That's what United need to do. The best academy in the world blends domestic, local talent with the best from abroad. And United haven't really made that many signings from the African market or from the South American market. And I tell you what, we've got a little bit of a mini doc coming out on South American signings, what United have done, how the market has changed, and where the opportunities are lying for United. That's going to be coming out in a little bit of time. And is that Sarab? Sarab, I see you gifted 5 as well, man. Jeez. All of you. You made me run out of like superlatives to describe it. And I actually, as much as I love everything that I've done here on United People's TV, and I think what we've done has been incredible to get out. I genuinely say as a we, because I wouldn't have been able to do it if you hadn't have supported me in the way that you have. And I'd like to think that I've delivered. So I think everyone is involved. But I want to do more for the community and for the members directly. That's why I started the Q&As. We're going to bring that back on Thursday. Just a little 30 minutes where you can ask me whatever you want. A little bit of away from the live show, but there's a lot of comments. But I still want to do more. And I'm going to work with Joe and Ronnie as well. This season, we're planning on a live show. All right? I'll tell you that now. It's in the works. It will take some time. Going to be asking new members where you want it to be. You members will probably help decide where the location is. So that's going to be coming. Hopefully return to the podcast and other things too. I want to make sure this community gets more. Right, last 6 months, I've been really focusing on the content, and I think we've delivered. But on top of that, next 6 months, I really want to level the community up. So you can all help me and get involved in that. All right? You might have ideas for things we can do community-wise. Even charitable stuff. Actually, what a community does. That's coming next. Now, Quick little, just going to move on from this very quickly, right? Adrien Rabiot. If you want to, I would recommend bookmarking thepeoplesperson.com. Of course I would. Red Billy and the other writers have just continued putting out top quality content after I passed it on. Of course, it's still in my name. It's a bit weird. But go and just bookmark thepeoplesperson.com. I'd encourage you to do it. Anyway, in terms of this Adrien Rabiot, which all the stories covered on there with a little bit of context, it's all just coming from Give Me Sport, man. It's just, I mean, it doesn't matter how much Gazzy's saying he wants how much. It's 200. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it was never going to happen. Never, ever going to happen. Ever. His demands were just insane, have been insane. There's a reason why Adrien Rabiot is sat there as a free agent. There was a reason why David De Gea was there for a year. Of course, I think he wanted to take a little bit of a break after leaving United too, but he had massive wage demands. If Rabiot, right, and this is the thing, this is the difference between short-term dopamine hit, boom, and long-term strategy. Rabiot would probably come in and improve our midfield options in the short term. But if we brought him in on a 3-year contract at 220 grand a week, in a year's time, it would be a problem. And the short-term dopamine hit wouldn't be worth the long-time, the squad's crap again. That's exactly what Rabiot would be. If United could sign Rabiot on a 1-year deal at around 100, 130 grand a week, fine, good, in you come. But he's never going to sign that. And I'd rather Manchester United, genuinely, I'd rather work with less options than the wrong options. And that's what signing him on the money that he wants would be. Personal opinion. And you're talking about a 1-year rolling contract? Yeah. Do you remember, like this, we are going way back now. But Man United under Fergie, if I swear I remember this correctly, whenever players turned over 30 at United, they automatically were only ever given a 1-year rolling contract. This is to show you how things have changed. And I remember Michael Carrick having it. I think Rooney had it as well. Can't quite remember that one. But players who were over the age of 30 would switch to a 1-year rolling contract. And if you played well enough, United would just keep rolling that contract over. But it protected United to make sure that there weren't any sort of passengers that kept inside the squad. I'm pretty sure that's what we used to do. I need to go and look at that. But yeah, it doesn't happen anymore. You get like 3-4 year contracts when you're like 29. Things have changed. Ross saying surely a 1-year contract won't work because of the Bosman ruling. I don't really know how that works. If you're a free agent, you get a 1-year contract. At the end of it, you'll be a Bosman again, no? Yeah, I remember Darren Fletcher getting one. Scott, you're saying the merch store isn't open. We're working on in the background to get the posters on there. We're going to be putting them down as a coming soon. So yeah, there's a little bit of work going on the shop this morning, but it'll be back up soon, all right? Come Monday, we'll be rocking. But let's talk about the game, right? First 20. It's only been 24 minutes of the show, man. What a wicked, man! What a wicked community. I can't wait until we can do a live show. I'm thinking live show wise, it's probably going to be in Manchester or London. That'll be the 2 locations. And what maybe we'll do it today. Actually, we're going to start like a form where you can just add your option, 1 vote each from each member, and you choose which location you would prefer. And we're going to see overall where the majority of members would like a live show to be. And the live show is probably, in my mind, a live show would be hiring a pub for the day, maybe the whole day. I don't know. Hiring a pub for when around a United away game rather than being at Old Trafford, because a lot of people want to go to Old Trafford. And then we hire the pub, we do a live show before it. It would be like a live podcast on stage. And then we watch the match together and we have a couple of drinks. And that's it. That's what I think would be the ideal live show for United People's TV. That's what I would want to do. Anyway. Let's run through some training picks, all right? You've got Ahmad there. I'll show you my starting 11 after. There's Harry Amass. There's Christian Eriksen. Unfortunately, there's no pictures of Ugarte. Now, Ugarte returned from international training a day late. I'm going to run through Ten Hag's quotes in a bit, but there's no actual pictures of him training. There's Rude, and I tell you what, that's a really good photo because, mate, come on, Marcus, man. Like, we can all be frustrated. And I am frustrated at Rashford still with the lack of finishing. Manchester United will be a significantly better football team this season if Marcus Rashford finds his form again. We are going to be a better team if he starts finding the back of the net. So I want him to. Do I think he's guaranteed to be a Manchester United player next season? No, I really genuinely don't. And I don't think Ineos would be able to confirm that either. But Marcus, man, start finding the back of the net. Please. All right, start with Southampton. That's what I want to see. Anyway, there's Casemiro. Fingers crossed that he has an absolute blinder. I don't think he will, but let's hope so. There's Toby. Don't think he'll start. Johnny Evans. Onana. There's Delo. There's Mazraoui. I think Mazraoui's probably been the most impressive signing so far. I think versus expectations coming in straight away. De Ligt, he was good against Liverpool, but he's still yet to settle. Xerxes got the goal against Fulham, but really struggled with the pace of the game against Liverpool. I think Mazraoui is one that has surprised me with how competent and comfortable he's looked straight away. Now, fingers crossed, Ugarte comes in and all of a sudden becomes the signing of the season because we need that in midfield. I'll tell you that. There's De Ligt, there's Martinez, there's Bruno. Getting some sprints on in training. Garnacho's a really funny Garnacho picture. Where is it? What? Straight up booting. He's not booting him in the face. Anyway, there's some training photos. Let's run through some comments and some updates from Erik Ten Hag before we go in to look at my starting 11. And we finish off the show with a prediction for the game. All right? Two players who won't be playing are Højlund and Shaw. Højlund got injured against the Arsenal? No, I hate that. I hate how anybody calls them the Arsenal. Not the Arsenal, just Arsenal. But he got injured in the Arsenal game, which I think was on the 28th of July. Which means we're pretty much bang on 6 weeks from when the injury was. And that's when we were told he was going to be ready and fit. Now, I wouldn't want to rush Højlund back. The perfect game for him to come back, the perfect games for him to come back, really, are Barnsley and Twente, aren't they? Crystal Palace away is going to be a tough game anyway. But no Højlund and no Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I don't even know what to say about Luke Shaw anymore. This is the last season where we go about Luke Shaw because I don't think he'll be a Manchester United player next season. I'd be almost amazed if he is. Right? But neither of those are going to be playing. However, Ugarte is going to be available. Now, we don't know whether Ugarte is going to be fit to start. And I'll run through my predicted 11 a little bit later after we run through these comments. But it's good that Ugarte is going to be available. In the international break, I've already ran through it in a video 2 days ago. Played 90 minutes in the second game against Venezuela. 78 minutes in the first game against Paraguay. He did look a little bit shagged towards the end of the Paraguay game. And he looked like he hadn't had a preseason. Because he hasn't. So it's going to take him some time to get up to speed. Unfortunately, that's going to have to happen probably over September. September, we've got, 5 games in 15 days? You're going to see Ugarte used for 20 minutes here, 30, 40 minutes there, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. He's going to build up. That's what you want a preseason for, unfortunately. Ugarte is going to have to do that whilst we've got games on. What you're saying down here in the comments. And he's saying, Sam, if we can grab a couple of goals early, we must rotate. I don't think so, Ant, because the rotation should come against Barnsley. We don't have a game between this game here and Crystal Palace. We've got a week, which should be more than enough. All right? So I think the rotation shouldn't really need to happen in this game. It should more happen against Barnsley with the starting 11. That's what I think anyway. That being said, I don't expect Casemiro or the certain players to play for the full 90 minutes, but quite a few of them Mainu's got the rest in the second game. Xerxes got the rest in the second game. Let's go on to some more comments here from Ten Hag, though, right? And I read this and I go, really? I mean, that's questionable, Erik. I mean, it depends on... I mean, they got character. And the character is their limp noodles. They can't see a game out. When adversity strikes, they crumble. When something goes wrong or against them, they get personally offended and their head goes. That's what the character is for this Manchester United team. More last-minute goals conceded in the last 2 seasons than in the previous 30, or whatever it was. Brighton, 8 players playing honeypot football, looking at the ball, not marking them out at the back post, head gone. I know this is what we were talking about during the preseason, about the patterns of play, but they're still not there. Like, and there's leaders in that dressing room now, man. Like, De Ligt's coming in. Of course, he won't have the authority just yet, but I think that will come over time. Martinez is there and he's fit. Casemiro will be very well respected, although he's playing like Tosh right now, which probably undermines himself. Start showing a bit of it, lads. Because that's just all talk there. I know this is Ten Hag trying to protect the squad there, and I understand that, but just show it, right? You see down here that Erik Ten Hag's talking about Manchester United being in transition, and everyone's going to be pissed, no doubt, because this is the 3rd year. We're really talking about a transition in the 3rd year. Truth be told, assistant manager left, other assistant manager left, new assistant manager in, new assistant manager in, new goalkeeping coach in, new CEO in, new sporting director in, new technical director in, new director of global talent in, new performance director in. That's 10 changes so far. And let me see what else is going on here. We've got a new set piece coach in. That's 11. Was there anyone else? There's probably some more, right? There's probably some more. So somewhere between 10 and 15 changes to the staff. So as a football club, we absolutely are in transition. And that affects the football team. However, this is the thing, right? As Afik says down there, it's the same head coach. It's still Erik Ten Hag in charge. And it's still largely the same squad with the new additions in. We saw something against Fulham. Right? That Fulham game. We had the right shape. We created the chances. Bruno on another day scores 2 goals in that game. Easy. I think Man United have had more... We've got a higher expected goals than Arsenal this season. And we've only scored 2. We are missing big chances. That will come, that will change, and that will improve. But we kind of still are in transition as a football club. And that will affect the football team. But ultimately, everyone wants results. And that's what we need to see. And that's what I'll speak about the starting 11 coming up next. In fact, I'll see your comments on this first. Let me read a couple of these out. If Erik Ten Hag fails, we should stick with our own coach like Ruud or Ole. If Erik Ten Hag doesn't survive this season, I would be amazed if it's not Ruud van Nistelrooy on an interim basis. Is this what he meant by... That's a good comment there from Aaron. Is this what he meant by being the best transition team in the world? Come on, people. Sometimes you've got to applaud a good one. That is a good one. Transition, the buzzword, ridiculous excuse for an overrated, overhyped and overpaid players. Hey, man, just deliver against Southampton, man. Just deliver. Is it that hard, man? Apparently it is that hard. I don't know. Right. I want to quickly... Do I want to mention that? You know what? Can't be bothered. I was going to have a little conversation about Ronaldo there. But I won't. What I will say is one thing here before we move on to the starting 11. Congratulations to Ronaldo, man. Yesterday, I kind of joked about it. I was in jest about Ronaldo started like a a countdown timer or like a road to 1 billion when he's like 1 million subscribers off. And I was like, what? And of course he hit it. Ronaldo sets trends. He does. Something that I would predict, it's not too hard to predict, but in the next couple of seasons, watch how many players come out and start football channels. Jude Bellingham's got a YouTube channel. Ronaldo's obviously got his now. It's going to become more apparent. Footballers starting their own YouTube channels whilst they are still players. I think Ronaldo's kind of not set the trend on that because there have been others before, but he's set the marker that people are going to look towards and go, well, we can do that. So just a massive congratulations to Ronaldo. Man, that guy is followed. And that's what happened to me yesterday when I mentioned the Piers Morgan interview. I got the Ronaldo army coming all up in my grill. Really all up in my grill, man. I'm only 999,560,000 away, right? So Ronaldo, man, I'm coming. It's made me laugh. Oh, jeez. Nuruddin, man. What's this one? I think this one's gone Acho. I need to change the 51 and get Barry back involved. I'm going to change it after this show. Garnacho on the wall.
Tallow for Garnacho! Oh, wow! Oh, wow!
That's cool.
That is one of the great goals in front of a stunned Gladys Street.
You can see it. Well, you can't see the bottom. That's exactly what the commentary says. Wow, oh, wow. That is one of the great goals. And Nuruddin, you are one of the greatest members of this community. Mate, Mata would have a great YouTube channel. Who would you like to see start a YouTube channel? Put it in the comments. I'll read some of them out. Let's speak about the game tomorrow, okay? Team news is there. Ugarte is going to be available. Don't know whether he'll start, all right? This was my team that I predicted for the game, all right? Let's go full screen. I'm predicting that Casemiro is going to keep his spot. I'm predicting that Ugarte is going to be on the bench. And I've kept Rashford on the left-hand side, and I put Ahmad on the right-hand side. Okay? That's my prediction. I don't think there'll be any changes to the back five. I think that feels quite settled. I say that's quite settled, but we just got spanked 3-0 by Liverpool. But ultimately, that came through individual mistakes, and Man United always will have a bad rest defence under Erik ten Hag. It's just kind of a characteristic of his system. So when you lose the ball in the build-up with a stupid pass, you're going to find your team kind of stretched and moved. I'm going to see what down here. Who would you want to see start a YouTube channel? Cantona would be funny, man. He'd just start singing. He'd do some mad stuff. Zlatan, that would be a good one. Phil Jones? I think Phil Jones could probably do a good podcast. Martinez, Rasmus would just be like, he'd put the decks out and he'd just do a live mix on a Friday. That's what he would do. Fred, that would be a funny one. Roy Keane. Who else? Who else is down here? All right, 1 second there. 1 second here, ladies and gents. I'm trying to get some Linkin Park tickets. I'm sure you'll all appreciate and understand this. I think that's it. Is that it? 5, 4, 7, 6. Yeah, got it. Anyway, sorry, distraction. Coming back down here. Evra, that would be a good channel. Berbatov, that would be funny. Gary Neville's already got one with the overlap. Seriously. But that's my starting 11. Everybody, can you fire your predictions in the comments, please? Let me know what you think. I honestly do think we're on a record here today. I want to press that 50, but I'm pretty sure I got slapped down for copyright last time. JC's just gifted 50 as well. Wrong button. Just to JC and mate, thank you. I can't. There's no words that come out of my mouth now that you haven't already heard. But from the bottom of my heart, all of you have helped this channel become what it's become. Allow me to spend money for good designers on that, on the merch. All of you, please go into the Discord. You'll all enjoy it. You'll all love it there. Everyone here is in that Discord and more. I'm going to start doing some more giveaways and competitions in there. I've got I tell you what, right now, I've got 3 shirts here that I'm going to be holding for giveaways. We've got last season's away kit. We've got, what is that, 80? I love that one. That's a wicked kit. And down here as well, that bad boy. 2 retro ones and last season's away shirt. I've also got 5 posters down there that I can give away. So that's all going to come your way if you go into the Discord. Big up. Right. So the score prediction from me for this game, I went for a 3-1. Van Gaal. Man, I would love the opportunity to have a podcast with Van Gaal. I think it would probably be the most... Who would I choose as the ex-manager that I want to speak to? I'd probably say Van Gaal first because he's far enough away that he would kind of let loose. I'd love to speak to Rangnick, but I think Rangnick would kind of hold his tongue. Understandably, because he's still Austria boss. Is he still Austria boss? I think he is. But, yeah, I love that. MC, Discord is completely and utterly free, but there's an extra members-only zone in there. So anybody who's got green next to your name, and I tell you what, there's lots of you now. So many of you. It's an absolute green army down here. Right, let me read some of your predictions. Victor, you're feeling drunk this morning, going for a 5-1. Ben, you're going for a 3-0 win. Ant, you're going for a 1-0 smash and grab. 2-0 Ravi. You're saying 4-0, 2-0. I'll tell you what, a lot of you are feeling confident. Akash, there will be some hats coming over winter. Don't worry about that. Just haven't released them yet. Some embroidered hats, some woolly ones. They're going to be cool. Bucket hats, they're going to be coming next summer too. Just reading, just waiting. I've gone for a 3-1 win. In this moment, in Ten Hag's first season, when we lost our first 2 games against Brighton and Brentford, and then we beat Arsenal at home, I believe the next game after that was Southampton away. And we won that 1-0. And that was where we actually defended the lead in the last 10 minutes, and that was where you get the low chest pumps. And, man, I'll take that. Anything that's a win tomorrow, I will take. But I'd love to see United exert an element of control, man. Which is what we all... Ultimately, I think that's the biggest... That's the biggest thing that will shift. Now, I mean, other than winning games, of course, results will change everything. But performances and actually starting to control the game rather than just mad transitional football would be great. And we need to see it. We deserve to see it. And Ugarte, I don't think he'll start this game, but he'll make a difference when he's in this team full time. Can I just say to Alex, to JC, to Ricky, to Nuruddin, all of you, Sarab as well, Pyro, you gifted 5 memberships, but in particular to JC and to Nuruddin. All of you that have believed in me up until this point have helped make this community grow. And just the continued generosity that isn't slowing down, you're all making it even bigger and better. And there is more to come. Right now, we've got 2 mini docs in production. We've got one on South American market and one on media bias against United. We've got a big deep dive in production on the stadium, which is probably going to be one of the best videos that we've done so far. And there's more coming. You're all enabling me to make better content. Now, if United can be good, that really would be quite nice. I swear to God, I don't want another international break like that. All of you, thank you so much. Have a cracking Friday. I was going to do a lunchtime video today, but I've got to go to London for an appointment. So I don't actually think there's going to be anything. Oh, no, sod that, my bad. I nearly forgot. I don't think there's going to be anything that warrants your attention. There's no video I could do because the game's at 12:30 tomorrow. We'll do talking points after the game. I did nearly forget. But I didn't. It's Map Day. It's hot in here now. Woo! I was cold when I started the show. Please, 3 of you, let me know where you're watching from. Cities and the country. And I will get 3 of you added onto the map. I did nearly forget. Latest countries, we've got a USA, South Korea, Switzerland, Morocco, Canada, Saudi Arabia. We should just do a world tour, really. That's what I want to do. UPTV Live World Tour. It'd be good when 3 people turn up. Yeah, I know, shocking, Brian. No lunchtime video is poor form. Should probably just sack me, really. You should just sack me. But as I always say, I would never want to put a video out for the sake of putting a video out. And sometimes it's better to just let it carry through until the game tomorrow, rather than forcing another video on you. Who else have we got down here? Right, we've got Fred watching from Gaborone in Botswana. Gaborone in Botswana. On you go. In you go. Boom. Christos, you're on holiday in Dubai. I'm so happy for you. Now, genuine, I'm a little bit happy for you, but not really. It's freezing here, man. And I did not have a holiday this summer because it was ram. But we've got Matthias watching from Fredericia in Denmark. On you go. We've got Abdullah watching from Islamabad in Pakistan. On you go, sir. Islamabad in Pakistan. Is that a capital? I think it's a capital. That's what I would say in a quiz. And we get one more here from YouTube. We've got... Yeah, Sam's under strategic review. I'm going to get the vote of confidence from the community soon after missing that lunchtime video. We've got Wilson watching from Penang in Malaysia. Awesome. Let's get that on the map. I can't spell. Penang, Malaysia. Wicked. All of you, thank you so much. These bad boys are going to be coming soon. Can't pick up two at the same time. I'll drop them. We've got the Skulls one, which I think might be my favourite. I'm not quite sure. Is it the Garnacho one? The Garnacho one was the first one. I think it's probably Skulls. There's a Cantona one, which is great. All of you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be here after the game tomorrow, and I swear to God, United, please make it a win. I can't deal with when I can, but I don't want to. All right? Have a cracking day. All of you, best community in the world, and it's just a fact now. It really is.